Things are about to get insane. What it do, Durag Nation? We are 30 hours away from the Game Awards, and I've never seen so much hype leading up to one of these events. From new leaks to trusted insiders just historically glazing this award show, there is something for everyone to get hyped over, even if you're a GTA 6 fan. But this is shaping up to be exciting for PlayStation players, in particular those hoping for a Marvel's Wolverine update, so let's break it all down. First, if you appreciate these dives into the latest PlayStation news, hit the like button so YouTube will share it with your fellow Sony ponies, or leave a dislike if it wasn't helpful at all. So the reason the Game Awards this year is a big deal is because this is the 10-year anniversary, and host Jeff Keighley has promised a bigger show than normal with plenty of crazy surprises. So far, only 6 games have been confirmed, but even they are going to be a big deal to a lot of players. They include a global reveal from the Mafia prequel releasing next year, Mafia: The Old Country, gameplay for the highly anticipated Borderlands 4, Hazel Light Studio, the creators of the hit It Takes Two, revealing their next game, and new updates for Power World, Warframe, and Dying Light. Keighley also dropped his annual hype trailer that gives fans a preview of what you could expect to see pop up at the show, and fans were quick to note his trailer included footage from GTA 6 and the upcoming PlayStation 5 exclusives Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei. Journalists and insiders have also been building the hype train for this show, which is rare because unless they are 100% certain on something, they don't like to set those expectations just in case they're wrong. Andy Robinson from popular news outlet VGC straight up said to fire up the hype train, it's going to be a big show. And this was not a guess or prediction, but based on knowledge he has of some of the reveals. Tom Warren, another popular journalist who works as senior editor for The Verge, co-signed Andy's tweet about the Game Awards being a show worth getting your hopes up for this year. Best-selling author and famous investigative reporter Jason Schreier also made headlines on the Kinda Funny podcast when he mentioned he had knowledge of 2 reveals at the Game Awards that were going to get people really excited, but the games he was referencing are looking to release in 2026 or beyond. That's a big piece of information we'll come back to later in the video. First, there have been several PlayStation leaks of projects that could pop up at the Game Awards. PlayStation's only successful live service offering this year, Helldivers 2, had a new trailer for a big DLC leak, and it appears it will be officially revealed soon based on the contents of the leak, which makes the Game Awards a big possibility. Ben Studio, the makers of Days Gone, has been secretly working on a new IP instead of Days Gone 2, which was reportedly rejected by Sony executives. Well, now we know why the execs turned down the sequel. Based on leaked footage, Ben Studio is working on some kind of third-person live service military shooter because Sony still thinks chasing the live service trend will pay off for them in the long run. Outside of Helldivers 2, Concord and Foam Stars crashed and burned, but Sony still has Fair Games, which, based on the trailer reactions, could be the next Concord. Plus all the stuff they have Bungie working on, including Marathon. Guerrilla is also reportedly working on an MMO and a Monster Hunter style multiplayer game for the Horizon franchise, with one of them potentially releasing next year. I've yet to hear a single good thing from anyone who has played Marathon, but hopefully the Horizon multiplayer games perform better than the Lego Horizon one did this year. Capcom enjoyers could also be treated to an official Resident Evil 9 reveal. Capcom teased this previously at a showcase, and leaker Lunatic Ignis claimed it was releasing next year and getting announced by the end of 2024, potentially at the Game Awards. A Metacritic page for Resident Evil 9 was recently created, so I think it's pretty safe to assume we're not going to be waiting long for a reveal trailer. Then there's Marvel's Wolverine. Insomniac Games has been all hands on deck trying to get Wolverine done after everything was delayed at the studio as a result of last year's cyber attack. This seems to have caused them to delay or cancel planned story DLC for Spider-Man 2, which will release on PC next year. Well, according to insiders Kurakasis and Jeff Grubb, we are getting something soon. Kurakasis said PlayStation was gearing up for some kind of Wolverine reveal, and Grubb mentioned the game was now plenty far along and was expecting them to show something soon. Many thought this could be at a PlayStation event happening at or announced around the company's 30-year anniversary, but Sony didn't make any special announcements, which leads us to the Game Awards. Jason Schreier mentioned there are at least 2 reveals that would make people go, holy crap, I can't believe this thing is here, and the 2 trailers he said were for games releasing in 2026 or beyond. That actually describes 2 Insomniac projects. Marvel's Wolverine was originally targeting a 2024 to 2025 release window, but it appears the current timeline is 2026. They also may have a Venom spin-off game in development, similar in size to Miles Morales, that reportedly could be targeting a 2027 release window. Seeing both of those games back to back would make me fall out of my chair. Those aren't the only superhero games we could see at the Game Awards. There are several from both Marvel and DC that could be getting world premieres or updates before 2025. Click the video on screen to learn more.